what you see over time, and my co-author in this book, Jeff Warren, who's this masterful meditation teacher from Toronto, really pointed this out, and he makes the case in the book. He writes all the meditation content. That if you look at your mind closely enough, you realize it's basically 6, 7, 8 competing characters in there. So, as you just said, there's stewing, there's impatience, and for me, there's anger, planning, ambition, and they're always fighting for salience in your mind. It's like the magic 8 ball. If you shake the magic, the magic. Are you?
Yeah, no, I know what the magic 8 ball is.
So the magic 8 ball has got all
87. I was born in 87.
Okay, all right, fine. Not 2007. All these like tiles in it, and then one of them floats to the surface and has primacy. That's the one you can see. And in many ways, your mind is like that. You've got all these little historical figures in your head. The planner, as I was saying, the angry person, the ambitious person, the jealous person, and like the magic 8 ball, one floats to the surface at any given moment and is running the show. You actually, if you learn how to see these patterns, then you are less owned by them. That is all we're doing in meditation. Well, we're doing other things too, but I think the primary thing we're doing for beginning meditation is seeing clearly. Just seeing is most of it. When you're unaware that you have this inner cacophony, it governs you. All the thoughts become like little dictators. You just act them out because there's no awareness that all this noise is happening. All we're doing in meditation is systematically waking up to this inner cacophony so that we can navigate it in a more supple way rather than drowning in every neurotic obsession that just happens to whiz through our head.
It seems kind of ironic to try to get an outcome out of meditation, because isn't the point of like meditating is to like let go of those expectations and to just be present in the moment. So it's like, I want to meditate because I want to be a better partner, or I want to be a better business owner. Having those motivations, is that a bad thing?
I don't think so. It's tricky though, because the most noxious thing you can bring to the meditation party in actual meditation, like not thinking about your practice in a holistic way, but actually sitting down, closing your eyes and meditating, the worst thing you can do is to try to feel a certain way. People often sit and meditate and they're totally distracted, and then they're seeing how chaotic their mind is, or maybe some old trauma comes up, and they feel like they're a failed meditator because they expect to feel calm. Expecting to feel calm is a hindrance to actual meditation. The point of meditation is not to feel any specific way. The point of meditation is to see clearly whatever you're feeling so that it doesn't own you. And so that is a reasonable expectation. The reasonable expectation is like, I want to meditate because I want to be a better business owner, or I want to be a better partner. Basically, another way of saying that is I want to meditate because I want to be a better human. That's a fine expectation. It just may not, it's just that every time you sit and meditate, it may not go the way it may not be a bubble bath. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Doesn't matter. The whole game is just to see it clearly. Why? Again, because every time you see clearly your own inner phenomena, you are not drowning in it.
That's a good point, because I mean, those holistic ideas about why we might do something in the first place aren't what come through while we're doing it. So making a documentary or writing a book, you're not like actively thinking, oh, I'm doing this because I want to reach people, I want to help people, I want to like share this story. You're just, in that state of flow. You're just in that state of consciousness where you're just creating, and you're not actually thinking about the creation. I'm curious about what you've learned about behavior change, because really this book is about how to change your behavior.
Yes, yeah.
And what are some of the things that you learned?
I learned a ton. Because, interestingly for me, the conceit of this book, the reason why I wrote this book is I was trying to make up for an error in my first book. I naively assumed that if I told my story, as I did in the first book, about how I came to meditate and how it made a big difference for me, that everybody would kind of hurl themselves into the lotus position and start meditating. Definitely didn't happen. For many people, I think it was, they put it on their list of things to do, or they just read the book as a beach read because it's an embarrassing story about an anchorman who had a coke habit and freaked out on television and blah, blah, blah. So what I wanted to do in this book was to actually help people meditate. Part of my problem was it was actually somewhat easy for me to adopt the habit, not because I'm disciplined. As I say in the book, by way of proving that I'm not disciplined, in the not too distant past, I ate so many Oreos one night that I woke up in the middle of the night and puked. So like I am not a super disciplined guy, but I have a lifetime history of anxiety and depression, and the science strongly suggests that this is really good for both of those. And in my personal experience, it was and is good for anxiety and depression. And it was just a no-brainer. I will do pretty much anything to avoid the low cloud ceiling of despair that descends in when you are dealing with depression. That meditation was just if this is what it costs, 5 to 10 minutes a day of meditation, I'm going to do it. However, for most people, adopting healthy habits is really hard, really hard. And for me, every other healthy habit is also is hard to adopt. The reason for this is that evolution did not bequeath us a mind that is good at embracing long-term health planning. Evolution didn't care about that. Evolution cared about you avoiding saber-toothed tigers, so threat detection, and finding food and mates, so that you could get your DNA into the next generation. It didn't care about brushing your teeth, or getting cardio done, or going paleo. That was not on the agenda. As a consequence, we struggle with diet and exercise and sleep habits and all that stuff. And so the thing to know, if you want to adopt any healthy habit, from meditation to going to bed on time or whatever it is that you need to know that we are all wired for failure. You are not uniquely prone to fail. And that you got to approach the whole thing with a sense of exploration and experimentation. So try a bunch of different ways to achieve your goal, see what works for you, and go from there. Eventually, you will get there. The final thing to say is that willpower is not the thing to rely on. Willpower is this incredibly ephemeral inner resource that evaporates when you're tired or hungry or bored, and then you break all your rules. The better way to get pulled forward into a healthy habit is to hone in on what are the benefits. And so for me, meditation, the benefits were I was calmer, more focused, less yanked around by my emotions, and as a consequence, less depressed and anxious. Focusing on that is what allowed me to drill it into my daily life.